Okay, welcome. Hello, we are back, and I am really excited today because I have invited some of my gorgeous soul clients to this space so that we can have a real conversation about what it takes to start a business. Because I think that what it takes to start a business and then how you actually start making that business profitable. And I really want to go behind the scenes a little bit with some of these women. I want them to share their own experiences, their own emotions, the ups and downs, the struggles and the highs, the things that have been amazing, the things that have been a bit difficult, because let's be honest, growing a business isn't easy. Otherwise, everybody would do it. The truth is it only one or two businesses survive out of 10 after the first year? However, I'm pleased to say that all of these gorgeous women in this space are freaking amazing. They are women on the rise. And I'm really excited to bring them on. Now, tech-wise, this is a bit of a new venture for me, so I'm hoping if I'm twiddling with tech in the background, hopefully it will all work perfectly. I'm a little bit nervous. This is new. This is outside my comfort zone, but I'm really excited to be here and doing it with you. So if you're on live with me, and I can see lots of you are, which is absolutely freaking amazing, I would love you to give me a little good morning. One thing is you can probably see all your names, but the way that Yardstream works is that I can't see who you are. So I think there's a little button that you can press at the top. And if you press a little button, your name comes up so I can see who I'm talking to. And that is gorgeous. Because I like to be able to see, I like to be able to connect. Anyway, the idea behind today, as I said, is to give you a behind the scenes look, to have some proper conversations about what it actually takes to start a business. The original plan was to have a full day of interviews, and I decided that that was just going to be a bit total crazy because I know that already lots of you have taken so much time to be enjoying all these videos. So what we're actually doing is we've split this up a bit. Today I have 5 incredible women who are all going to share their own business journeys with you. They're all clients of mine. I adore working with them. They're all incredible women. And then what we're going to do is next Wednesday, we're going to do some more. And the following week, we're going to do some more. So this is almost the beginning of a brand new series. And I'm really excited. Wow, there are loads of you on. So without any more waiting about, I want to introduce you to the fabulous Joanna Tompkins. She has created a business called Nails and Sales. And when Joanna came to me and shared her dream and the vision that she had, I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. You so need to do this. But I'm going to invite her on now, hopefully, and she can tell you her story. So bear with me while I just figure out this. Hold on. Hold on. We will get there. Give it a drum roll.
Hi.
Okay.
You can rest. You can be confident now.
Awesome. Joe, it's fabulous to see you here. Do you want to just give yourself a little introduction to everybody?
Yeah, so I'm Joe. I run, like Claire said, Nails and Sales. I was a nail technician before that, and built up another business called French and Drench. And then at the end of 2019, I decided to start Nails and Sales, which is originally I was thinking it was going to be some kind of coaching coaching kind of business for like nail technicians to help them grow their businesses. But actually over the last few months kind of changed it a little bit, and now I run the main thing that I do with Nails and Sales is run a membership and a free Facebook group.
Yeah.
And the membership is the paid option, and then the free one.
Perfect. So let's dive into what that means a little bit more. Sorry, I've got my bit of hair is again, like it always does. So basically you had your own really successful nail business, right? Where you were fully booked with clients and you even had people working for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it started off just me. So I built it completely from scratch, literally using my husband's credit card to buy all the stuff I needed to start with for French and Drench. That was my nail business. and got so busy that I started taking on staff pretty soon. But it just all came to a head. It got really stressful in the end. I had lots of employees, and it was just really, really hard. Like, worked like 16 hours a day, like every day. It was hard work. So I kind of changed that up. That all kind of came to a head last year, and kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah. So what I loved when we met is that you had this really successful business that from the outside looked brilliant, right? But from the inside was basically taking up all your time and was stopping you from having the life balance that you wanted. And so I was excited when you came to me and you were like, look, I've got this idea. I know how to get nail technicians fully booked, and I want to help them do that. Like, it breaks my heart that there are so many nail techs who have not got fully booked businesses, and I know how they can do that. And I was like, oh my God, yes, like, you have the answers, you can help them. This is genius. And I didn't see anyone else doing it. So I was like, fabulous. So by the way, if you've got questions for Jo, pop them in the comments and we'll have a little look. So how did it feel like as you were taking that leap and basically going, okay, so I'm going to start this new business, basically? How did that feel for you?
So when it all came to a head with French and Drench, like, I had been thinking about this other coaching kind of idea, and something I really wanted to get into, because I'd had coaches like throughout the time that I was building French and Drench, and I was really interested to get into that. But when I finished French and Drench, it was all very stressful. So I was like, right, I'm going to just take like a few months, not really doing too much, and then I'll like get into it. But because of who I am, I can't sit around like not doing anything or working towards my goal. And like, my goal is still the same as what it was with French and Drench. It's just now I've had to pivot and like start a new business in order to get to my goal. But it was very much like, no, I'm still going to do this. I'm going to pick myself back up. I'm going to get back on this. But this time I'm going to set up a business that works like my way. So I'm not going to be working 16 hours a day. I'm not going to have all these employees. And so what can I do in order to get a business that's going to work for me, as and get me some money, and get me towards my goal. And so after probably only like 3 or 4 weeks kind of after all that came to a head, I actually came across Claire's Grow Your Facebook challenge. Sorry, my kids are here and they're about to run in. I was like, trying to get my husband's working upstairs on a meeting, so
hi. real life lives. Everyone knows what it's like with children.
Everyone, once again.
Oh,
it doesn't matter. I'll be back in a minute. Come on, quickly. I came across Claire's Facebook challenge, how to grow a Facebook group, and I just thought, oh, that sounds good. So I basically did that for that 5 months. Oh, am I still going?
Yeah, we can still hear you. Yeah.
Am I still going? Yeah. And so I got my Facebook group up and running from that challenge, and I did have nothing before your challenge. I didn't have a Facebook group. I was thinking, right, I think I might do something, but hadn't really done anything. And so by the end of that, I had a Facebook group set up. So that then started the ball rolling, because actually before I knew it, I had quite a few hundred people in there.
Really fast, didn't it? It was like boom.
Yeah. And so I'd done an interview with Claire before, back a few months ago, and I was saying in that, like, I was always like, I'm never gonna, when I did Claire's challenge, I was like, I have no money. Like, I was in debt, like from my last business, I was in debt. And I was like, I can't spend any more money on any more coaches until I've got some money coming in. But after I started to grow the Facebook group and I'd done the challenge with Claire, I could just see like there was so much. I kind of was just like, even though I really don't want to spend any more money, and I'm like absolutely crapping myself, thinking I'm going to go and like say to my husband, like, I'm going to sign up for this other thing. I mean, he's so supportive. He's just like, yeah, whatever you want to do, like, I trust you. But it's that fear, isn't it, of like, oh my God, am I really going to spend more money when I haven't even like managed to like recoup the money from my last business yet? Yeah. So it was very, very scary. But also, like, I just knew that it was super exciting as well. When you just like I kept coming across Claire's stuff all the time, and I'd be watching it and I'd be like, as soon as I'm Claire's live, right, I'm gonna watch that, because it was exciting, and seeing like how well Claire had done with like her business, I was just like, what, it'd be better if I just learn what I've got to do like right now, rather than wasting 6 months like trying to do it by myself. And yeah, it's paid off.
Yeah, you are doing incredible things, and I'm going to share some of that in a moment, because honestly, since the day one of working with you, you blew me away. You are so dedicated, you're so determined, you have created incredible results, but you really, you've done the work, and you've shown up, and you've chosen to believe in yourself, and you've dealt with any mind monkeys that come up, because we all have those kind of things. And so watching you grow your business has been such a pleasure. And the other thing that really I feel super passionate about is, obviously, during this time, like, we've hit the pandemic, right? We've hit the like scary different scary C word. And so lots of your clients had businesses that were open that were shut straight away. And I think that there were probably lots of women in your community who were probably feeling overwhelmed, angry, scared, not knowing what to do. And what I've seen you do in that time is really step up and support those women, and actually show them what they can be doing now, so that when we come out of the end of this, and their businesses can reopen, they've actually got a plan, so that they feel like they've got focus, and it's not all just falling apart. And that's huge for people, right? Everything that's been happening with the virus. I think so many businesses shutting, so many people have had huge mindset issues going on, and absolutely understandably. And just seeing you support those women and have a way, an affordable way, that you can help them get everything in place. You can help, build that belief in themselves, stop them from freaking out and panicking like lots of people have been doing, and actually, take them through the steps that they can be doing right now, which is perfect time for them to actually be getting their business sorted, so that when doors do open again, actually, boom, they're there and they can be making a profit. I think that that's incredible, and I just think it's so needed. I think it's a service that is massively needed, and seeing how you support those women has really touched my heart. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on today, Joe, because don't get emotional. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on today is because I've seen your growth. And I've seen how much you've given, and I've seen how passionate you are about it, and I've seen you really step into such a powerful mindset around this. As most people would have panicked doing the business that you had just set up, kind of going, oh my God, how am I going to get clients when they're earning no money? You know what I mean? But you did not allow that to get in. You didn't allow yourself to go there. You instead stepped up big time, and you were like, right, I believe more than ever that these women need me. And you created this membership, which is a lower monthly option, so it's affordable for them and they could do it, and you give a huge amount of support in there. And I just thought it was incredible watching you grow during that time.
Yeah, it could have been so easy to come March, none of my members, and it's so awful, like none of the members in the Nail Business Success Club have worked since March, and most of them are self-employed, and most of them are new to being self-employed, so none of them are getting very they're not furloughed, they're not getting money. And actually, just like you're saying that about me, I say that about the girls in my club as well, because, even throughout this, and even when they're not getting any money, they've decided to show up for themselves, for their businesses, and again, to use this time as wisely as they can, because it could be so easy. And there's thousands that have watched my trainings that didn't sign up, and that couldn't find the courage in themselves to sign up and to show up for themselves and to do the work now, because this, like, I honestly feel like that this coronavirus, as much as it's so awful, and obviously I wish it hadn't happened, but for many people this can be a life-changing opportunity, because it's given this time at home where normally we have, I've got 2 kids here as well, like it's hard, but I've got this focus, like I'm just at home, so it's given me that extra time to work on my business rather than the rushing around like, I'm normally doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just love that. So here's the thing, even though this virus has been there and your ideal clients have not been earning any money really, because what you have done is you've shown them what they can be doing now, and your business has grown. And I've seen you create this fabulous membership site for these women. I'd love you to share a little bit, because you did a webinar not very long ago, didn't you? And I remember saying to you on our call, I was like, so Jo, how many people have signed up for the webinar? How many people did you have signed up for that last webinar?
So I'll just do a little background. So when I started with Claire, so 5 months ago now, I had zero, literally was starting from zero, so nothing. My Facebook group's now got over 2,500 people in it. So I've got 2,500 people that know about my business, which is fantastic. Basically with my last launch for the membership, so I opened the membership for a few weeks to let obviously new people to join. So this was a couple of weeks ago now. And I did a webinar which was on how to get fully booked and earn 5k a month for specifically for nail technicians, and figured out all of the technology stuff around it, which was probably my biggest fear of it not working. But I had 500 people sign up to the email to say that they were coming, and I was kind of expecting about 25-30%, which is what I got. And that was amazing. So I had 135 people show up for my webinar, which was amazing. I was thinking, right, if I can get 100, I put some money on Facebook advertising and stuff for it. So I said, if I can get 100, that would be really, really good. But I had 135, and they pretty much all stayed till the end. And then we did about 45-minute questions Q&A session at the end as well. And then I opened the doors to the Nail Business Success Club. And then people joined, which was fantastic.
Amazing. So amazing. And what I love about the fact that you've chosen to go down the membership route is that you've got this baseline, you've got real consistency there with income, and you can just, of course, there are people who cancel memberships, but actually, especially with the way that you're doing this and the value that you're giving, your women are staying in this space because they love it, right? And this is a conversation we've had a little bit, and I just think you've created a fantastic membership there for your ideal clients. And look at your growth. 5 months. In 5 months, you've got how many people did you say in your Facebook group? 2,000. It's amazing. 2,500. 2,500. And when you look at the people who are jumping on your webinars, all of these things, I think it speaks volumes about how you show up, the value that you give, the work that you're doing, and how people are just hugely appreciating all that. So just massive hats off to you, everyone who's watching. By the way, we've got 33 people watching. Have you got any questions for Jo? Because there'll have been times when it wasn't easy, right? What for you has maybe been, what's been the most difficult aspect of it?
I mean, probably just starting. I feel like maybe I forget. I think I forget. I block all the hard times out. But I mean, obviously going into coronavirus, and lockdown was quite hard. But really, I know it sounds really bad. Compared to my other business, this is easy. And it's just figuring it out. And I put a lot of work in. If I'd done what I think most people do, it probably would have taken me a year to get to this stage, but I am willing to put the work into. I've got 2 young children here, and obviously they've been off school and nursery for the last 3 months. So actually that's probably the hardest thing, trying to manage that. But because I'm so dedicated and I want it so badly, my goal is so, so important to me. And I've got no doubt in my mind that I'm going to get what I want, and one way or another, I'm going to get there. So I'm just happy to put the work in. I'm happy to work till 10, 11 o'clock at night when, because I've got the kids in the day. So I'll put them to bed and then I crack on with my own stuff. And people might be like, well, when do you rest? I'm like, well, my dream is more important to me at the moment, and I do rest. But...
you have gone super fast. Last week on Friday night, I was talking about everyone has their own pace. They're either a runner, a walker, like a sprinter, a jogger, or a walker. You're definitely a sprinter, and you kept it up, and you're creating incredible results because of it, and making such gorgeous difference, you know, helping so many other women in the process. So I think you've done amazingly. What difference has it had having a coach through this process?
Yeah, all the difference. I mean, I don't think I even would have come up with the membership idea. I think it was, so the thing was, and actually probably the thing that I remember most about my time with you so far was probably about 3 or 4 months ago now, sitting on my sofa and had a one-to-one call with you. And I was like, I don't really know where to go with all of this. I've done a 1-month course. I've done some little mini masterclasses, and I'm just not really sure where to go. And by the end of that call, I think we were on the phone for 50 minutes or something. By the end of it, we'd come up with this membership idea, which I was in the back of my head somewhere, but hadn't come out. And
yeah,
it was just so clear that was the path. And I remember then, I think I hung up the phone to you, and I literally dancing in my kitchen and I remember then driving down to the school run, just so happy because I had a plan and I had something that I knew I could get to work. Yeah. And I think without a coach, and I've always had a coach. I've had a coach for the last 3 or 4, 2-3 years. And it keeps you moving. It keeps because you're it's all the insecurities that you have and all the fears and all the, I'm not sure what to do. And just talking to someone, and that makes such a difference to you actually. And just having that support is such a difference. To getting your ideas out and actually taking action on them, as opposed to them just being in there and you just thinking about them.
Absolutely. Yeah, awesome. Are there any, so firstly, before you go, we need to share where people find you if they want to come and have a look. Or I know that there are some nail techs in the group, so nail techs probably desperately want to come and see what you're up to. Where can people find you?
So can I pop it into the comments here? Should I pop a link in?
Yeah, I believe you can. Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. But if I put it into private chat, it's only going to come up between me and you, I presume.
This is where we're let's figure out. Let's figure out what we like.
Actually, you know what? I've got my phone here. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, okay. So what you can do, as soon as we finish, pop it in.
Yeah, if you are a nail tech, then we've got a private Facebook group. So it's basically facebook.com/groups/nails and sales. And you can come and join us.
So what you could do, Joe, in the comments, once you hop off, you could do 2 things. You can pop your group, and I think, have you got a little freebie sign up or anything that you want to share in there as well?
Yeah, I'll pop something in there.
You can pop that in there as well. And then today I am going to be sending this little replay out to everyone on email, so I'll make sure we put the links in there as well. Any last words? Any last words?
I'll say hi to Ashley, because I've just seen on my phone that Ashley Mitchell's watching and she's in my membership. So hi, Ashley.
Oh, that's awesome. Ashley, how do you find the membership? Is Joe amazing or what?
Ashley's done so well as well. She's doing so good.
There's some gorgeous comments coming up. I'm a holistic therapist. Would any of your coaching be relevant to me? Fiona, I don't know whether you're talking to me or whether you're talking to Joe. I think you can have a conversation. So lots of you are coming up at Facebook users, so I can't say your name, which is a bit weird. You love it. How much value do you give in your group until you see results yourself? How much value? So Joanne, how long was it that you were giving value in your group before you sold your first, I don't know if you'll remember this, before you sold your first, it was a workshop.
A month?
Yeah, about a month.
I remember it was November when I started my group, and then I launched my first membership. My first course was at the end of December.
Yeah,
and I had 4 people sign up to that.
Yeah, and that was literally that was you literally starting a brand new business. So yeah, within a month you'd got people who were signing up and paying to work with you. Which is amazing.
I think that first month I took £1,300. Yeah. Through a course and a masterclass, so I was pretty chuffed with that.
Yeah, it's a good start, for sure. It's a brilliant start. Someone said, "Do you miss not being a nail tech?"
So I was still doing nails on top of doing this up until coronavirus. But obviously haven't done that for 3 months, and can't say no. At the moment. I've just done my own. I've just done one of my hands.
Oh, nice. That's a bonus, isn't it? Susie says, hi, Joe. I'm a reflexologist. I'm in this place of no clients, but seeing this, it felt like, wow, what next? Where do I go from here? It all seems possible. So amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can start in any area. Like 5 years ago, I worked in a basement in an office that I hated with a group of boys that stank of like alcohol and shit, and I just hated it so much. And I've changed my whole life is completely different now. So whatever you want to do, you can do, and you just got to work at it and just have belief in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
And even if you're not a nail tech, actually, like, because like obviously we base our nails and sales stuff on nail techs, but the principles apply to most like female-based like service things. So, you know, whether you're into beauty or reflexology or whatever, the same principles apply. So feel free to come and join our group.
Yeah, there's an interesting question here, and I know my answer to this. So someone says, how would you have paid your debt from coaching off if it didn't work? I'm too scared to get into debt for a new business. Now, how the question is written is interesting, because in a way, I bet you didn't even consider how, you just decided you were going to make it work, right?
Yeah, I worried about it for sure, because I was in so much debt already. And I can't see who that is, but the most interesting and most amazing thing happened when I joined Claire's thing. So I was in a lot of debt. And when I joined Claire's thing, I got access to one of her money mindset, like course things. Oh my God, I just don't care. Like some of that debt's still there. Like a lot of it's paid off, but some of it is still there. Like I'm still in quite a bit. But my whole mindset has completely shifted on it all. So I just do not worry about, like, whereas before with Claire, oh my God, I was every day checking my money, worrying how I was going to pay everything. Like it was like, because that was how it had been for like the few months kind of before that. And honestly, it's just all gone. And not having to focus all that stress on money and things, you know, then frees you up to do all the great things. So that was like, yeah, life-changing. I think if I hadn't, how would you have paid your debt from coaching off if it didn't work? What wasn't going to work? Like I was going to make it work. And also the thing was that I had the nails business to fall back on because I've got rid of most of my employees at that stage. So I knew that even if I couldn't get the coaching work, I could just go back and be a nail technician and earn enough to be able to pay it off.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question, because I think that lots of people, like, debt is almost a dirty word, isn't it? And lots of people are scared to get in debt, and I understand it. And there's certainly bad debt. Like, you know, if you're going to go and just buy a ton of pairs of shoes, it's not necessarily debt that's going to help you. But I think that some debt can be very useful. And I know that at the beginning of building my own business, I was putting it on credit cards and just trusting that I would make it work. It was like, well, actually, the only way I know if I'm going to do this is by going for it. And I knew that I had to take the leap. And if I hadn't have done, I wouldn't have got the support I needed. And I would have had to go and get another job. And I guess at the end of the day, well, if it didn't work, you'll have to go and get a job. But if you never give it that go, what are you potentially missing out on?
Yeah, I think that's like a good point. It's like, what's the worst that can happen as well? Like, what's the worst that can happen by getting in that debt? Well, you have like a few months where you have to work a bit harder to pay it off.
Yeah.
Like get another job on a Saturday to pay it off. Like, well, was it worth it to get your dream? Like, and you probably are going to make it work because you put that, and that's the thing. Actually, the more you invest in the courses and coaches, the more you are going to put in and make it work because you've paid for it. Like, you know, if I paid £20 for your course, I'm unlikely to show up every Tuesday morning for our coaching calls. But because I paid that money, like I'm there every exactly. Maybe this one in the whole 5 months that I've been with you, like I'm there every week. And so again, that keeps me accountable and keeps things moving.
Exactly. There's just someone's popped in a comment that for me sums it up perfectly. When there's a possibility of opportunity, it's not debt, it's investment. And I think, yes, 100%, that's how I look at it. I think you just said that beautifully in a few words. I don't know who it was, but thank you for that comment. So, Joe, I just want to say huge thank you. I can see our next guest in the little waiting room waiting. So thank you for taking the time this morning. I know that things are busy, that your kids are at home. And so I really appreciate you coming on and having a chat and sharing your story. And I think, you know, people have probably really enjoyed listening to that. So if you do have any other questions for Joe, feel free to pop them in. You're going to pop your links in a moment. And yeah, just massive thank you. Thank you. And
thank you so much for having me and for coaching me. I'll see you soon.
You were so polite. You were so polite. You're amazing. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I'll figure out how I take
leave.
Now, there we go. Bye. Bye. Okay, awesome. Oh, we're nailing the tech bit of this. So my next guest is, oh, she is just a gorgeous woman. I've known her for quite a long time now. And I have seen this incredible journey that she's been on. And I'm going to bring her on. I'm not going to say any more. Her name's Susie Rizzle, and she's got so much to share. So hang on, let me bring her on. Susie! Thank you so much.
Can you hear me okay?
Feedback going on. Oh, there's a bit of feedback happening on the phone, Susie. I don't suppose you've got earphones anywhere.
Hang on.
Right, I'll tell you what, I'll turn you off a second and then I'll... Okay, so technical difficulties while Susie's getting some headphones to try and sort that out. Could everyone else hear the bit of feedback then? I'll tell you a little bit about Susie. Susie has created a business called Mummies Matter. She is originally a physio, and I'm not going to share loads because I want her to share her story a little bit. So we'll give it a moment for Susie to be able to come on and join us. In the meantime, what questions have you all got? Obviously, you've just heard Joe's story, which is a fantastic story. Joe is a gorgeous woman, building a fabulous business. I'm just kind of scrolling through all the different comments popping up here. There's lots of good mornings, which is lovely. Someone says, hold on, Stacey, you clicked the button. Yes, I can see you now. So by the way, if you're popping in comments at the moment, I can't see who's typing the comment. So if you type a comment, pop in your name first, because then it's like magic. Ta-da! Your name will appear so I can see who's chatting to us. Okay, I can see Susie just figuring out her headphones as we go. Someone's put, so what is your actual job, Joe? So Joe basically teaches nail technicians how to get fully booked in their nail tech businesses. That's what she does, and she's created a fantastic business doing it. Okay, let me just scroll down here a little bit. We've got some fantastic comments. Oh, there we go. So Joe's popped in her Facebook group. Where's the button? I think it's just above the top of this picture. I think there's a little button up there. Kerry, yeah, I think there's a button up there, Kerry. Stacey, do you have anyone coming on that sells a product today? Who have I got today? No, don't have someone who sells a product today, but I will have next week or the week after. Right, Susie, let's bring you on. Let's try that now.
Is that better? Yay!
Yay!
I tidied them away. In a drawer, couldn't find them.
That's all right. You found them now. You're owning it, and we can hear you clearly. That's perfect. So, Susie, we've known each other for ages now. I absolutely adore you. Do you want to share with everyone, in a nutshell, what you do, and then we'll unravel it a little bit?
Okay, yeah. So I'm Susie, and yeah, I've been working with Claire for quite a while now. So I am a physiotherapist. I'm a mum of 2, and my business is called Mummies Matter. And what I do is I'm a Pilates instructor as well. So I specialise in pregnancy and postnatal rehabilitation.
So your business it's been on a real journey since we met. You were doing something completely different, and then you kind of the next step really that we got on together just a little while ago was you kind of starting to build your Pilates business, wasn't it? And you built classes and start that. And so do you want to start by telling people what was it, you know, what kind of took you that step to go in, okay, like I'm going to build this Pilates business, and this is the first step of Mummy's Matter. And then obviously there's lots more that's coming into that now, and I'm really excited to share that with everyone as well.
Well, I think having kids is definitely a time of reflection, because on maternity leave, like obviously your life's changing, because then I was going back less hours. So that was a real big thing to make me think, right, come on, I want to do something different that's going to fit around my life as well. So that was a real big learning curve there, is just that I wanted to do something for to fit around the family life, really. So I started out, and I thought I'd already taught Pilates for somebody else in their business, so I knew I loved it, and I decided that so I'd have a different spin on it. I wanted to go into pregnancy and postnatal, because obviously I'd just been on that journey having 2 children myself, so I felt like that's where my passion lay, and so that's what really got me into starting that.
And what was it like? We've been talking fear a little bit this morning, and it's one of those things that pops up all the time. What was the scariest bit of you making that decision and taking the leap?
Oh, well, I think fear has been a part of my journey all the way along here. So it's something that's like held me back in so many stages of my business, and so many of our conversations in coaching is things that I put barriers up around myself. So that's like been a steep learning curve for me, and still is all of the time, because there's always new fears that come in the way. And I think it's just the fear of like exposure, of like vulnerability, of putting yourself out there from a marketing perspective, as well as fear of no one will come to my classes, and just, you know, all of those things, and being judged by peers as well. So that's another big thing that crops up for me a lot, as you know. So I think they're my fears mainly, aren't they?
Yeah, you know what though, what I love is, and this is one of the conversations that don't happen so much, fear comes up usually because people care so deeply. It's because they care. It's because they want to make a difference, and they want to make it work, and they're passionate about what they do, and they want to make sure they're doing the best job that they can. And that's what I see from you all the time, Susie. I know that at the heart of any of the fear that comes up on your journey, but here's the thing, you feel the fear and you do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I know that the fear for you stems from a deep caring and a real deep wanting to do the best that you can all the time. And so I think it's really important just to acknowledge that, and to acknowledge that that fear comes from a beautiful intention of just wanting to be great, and to make a difference, and to do things the best that you can, like for your clients. So tell us a little bit about how your Pilates classes grew and unfolded, and how you've been growing that.
So like you say, oh my God, it's been such a journey. So I started these classes, it's 4 years now this year. And I remember at the first I'd turn up, and I literally, the times I'd turn up, there'd be 1 or 2 people that turned up. And I was like, oh God, I love teaching. But I just felt there was like a lack of energy in the room, because there was only a couple of people. So I was like, still showed up, still persevered, carried on through all of that. I started off like just really small room hire costs, so that helped me grow. And then, you know, over time, I've built up until coronavirus came. You know, I was teaching 6 classes a week. So, you know, that's around me. I also work in a hospital as well. So I've got another job that I do in a hospital as well. So that I've got that commitment. But this just really fits around family life. So I'd grown that. I'd got full classes, you know, a good reputation locally. So yeah, that's just grown out of, you know, one person turning up to a class.
Yeah. And then Mummy Matters has grown, like since then it's grown into much more as well. And let's just dive into obviously the coronavirus change a little bit, because like you had positioned yourself perfectly. So straight away there was no like, oh, I'm just going to have to shut the doors. Just share what you did.
So with, you know, chatting to Claire, and this is what the beauty of coaching's given me, because sometimes you don't see things for yourself, but we talked about it a lot, and I developed a membership site. So I've got a Mummy's Matter membership site, and within that site I was already offering content for mums postnatally to help them with physiotherapy advice, with mindset advice, and some exercise in there as well. So it was already good to go. And then so all I had to do was transfer my weekly classes within the membership site and offer those classes with via Zoom. So quite a lot of the ladies that were already coming to my classes have joined that, and then I offer 2 classes a week that they can join. I offer my pregnancy classes separate to that membership, but I'm about to open a membership site for the pregnancy ladies as well.
So you really kind of shifted pretty quickly, very easily, seen from the outside, from having your in-person classes. It was just like this quick, smooth kind of transition to having everyone on Zoom and your membership and all of those kind of things, which is amazing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was so great having that was already set up. And even now, like I've just been recording some stuff now to send out, and a lot of it is I've already got content, so it's just saved me so much time, because when the kids are home I'm like, be quiet, it's so much harder to record things, but I've already got quite a lot of it already good to go, so that's been such a time saver for me.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And so there's kind of strands that come from Mummies Matter, right? Because you're doing other things that I think are really exciting. Do you want to share a little bit of that as well?
Yeah, so from doing the Pilates classes, obviously I see mums and I know how much I want to be able to help them. So I'm also a mummy MOT practitioner, and that is a postnatal health screen for mums, and it's suitable from 6 weeks postnatal to beyond. There's no limit really. And what that includes is like a pelvic floor health screen, so it looks for any issues you might have with incontinence or pain with intercourse and that kind of thing, which a lot of mums suffer with post birth. And we also look at diastasis recti, which is the tummy gap that mums can get postnatally, as well as end stage pregnancy. And then looking at posture and developing an exercise program. So many mums want to get back to exercise, and it's just knowing when to do that. So this is so useful to be able to offer that to mums postnatally. Yeah. And on top of that, I was offering kind of like a massage service as well, pregnancy and postnatal massage service. So I had some hands-on, which has obviously been a little bit restricted because of coronavirus, but I'm now offering virtual appointments, because even though the mummy MOT involves an internal examination, which obviously we can't do, there's just so much value that people can still gain from these appointments, just because of the information that we can share and the videos that I can send on to them about how to assess things themselves that we perhaps can't to do in the face-to-face version of that at the moment.
Amazing. And so I think, I think it was last summer I was in France, and I was actually having dinner with a French couple, and they were talking about the aftercare that their system gives them after they have a baby. And I remember being like, what? It's all like, it was so much more than we actually get here, and it was quite eye-opening for me. And it was had been part of our conversations, of course, and it was like, wow, this is so important. And you building this membership and getting it out there on a bigger level, I think is really helping women have the conversations that need to be had about the changes that happen when you have a baby and afterwards. And I think that there are some conversations that people have lots, like we've all heard the little bit of a laugh about when you go in trampolining and being a bit careful, or all those kind of things. But I also think that there's so much more space for more conversations, and certainly some of the things that we've spoken about, it's like, wow, like this all needs to be much more part of the conversation. And so I just love that you're creating a business that opens that space, and you're so real and so you in it. What if you were sharing like one thing about your journey as you've been building this and growing this, what would it be?
I thought about this before we came on. I thought, I wonder if Claire will ask me something like this. And I think it is just to learn to live with flow, because I think I overthink everything and probably like second guess myself and have that fear. And I think I probably like try and control every part of my journey. And some of that's come because I've gone through life doing everything like school, then college, then university. So it's all following a rule book, which is something we talk about. I'm a professional and have my code of conduct, so I'm always living by those rules. And I think a business has to be just to let everything just flow. And I think I tried to control quite a lot of things. And sometimes I know you've talked about when you stop and just like either meditate or just sit in stillness, even on holiday, I know you talk about this, the ideas just come in and just flow. And I think it's just learning that and trust. I think they're the two words that I'd really associate with my journey. And it's a learning curve. It still is all of the time. But I think it's just letting go. There's been a lot for me. It's just learning to let go and trust and believing in myself. So it's all that side of things that you can't learn really. It's and so much of my journey and my career has been learn, and it's striving to get that knowledge, and I'm always looking to get that more education. But actually a lot of what I need to learn internally to grow my business comes from letting go. And that's and that's the balance that I've been trying to get in as I've gone through my journey really.
Yeah, so you might have basically answered the next question that was just kind of came up as you were saying, that is, what's the one piece of advice you would give people, like people who are starting the business or who want to grow the business that they've already got? What's the one piece of advice that you would share?
Get a coach like Claire. Because she's just amazing. I mean, there's so many times, like I literally always, because I feel like when you're growing a business, you do feel quite alone, because if you are growing something that's yours, and sometimes you just need a soundboard. And I think I do my husband's head in, because I'm constantly trying to talk to him, and he's got a Windows list to me, and when that runs out, and I'm like, I need to speak to Claire, because it's just having someone that you can look for all of this knowledge, and you can find so much information, but you need it for you. It's got to be bespoke, because unless you've got someone that just sees something that you don't see, so just like the membership site, Claire pointed that out to me. So I think I really have valued having somebody that's just listening to me, and the stuff that we talk about is just huge. So you've helped me with so many aspects of my journey, from childcare decisions to, starting my membership site. It's huge. And it's having a soundboard and somebody to just really like point out to you that you've got it, and you can see something in you that perhaps you've not seen yourself as well. So having a cheerleader for you. So that's been huge for me, really. And I think I've really benefited from that a lot on my journey.
Oh, thank you. That's not the thing I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say the one thing is, I would say, learn to trust yourself, or learn to flow. Or that's what I was expecting to say. But lovely answer. And
I think I probably said that in the last answer. But that as well. I think it's just like keep working on yourself, because I know the other day I did a post in my membership about how I start my day and talked about affirmations. But actually, I thought, do you know what? I've not done affirmations for a bit, and I started doing them. And I am the woman who, and just things that you tell me, and just affirmations. And lately I've just felt like, right, come on, it's just given me another internal drive again. And sometimes it's just, just reminding yourself that you need to work on yourself along all of this as well.
Gorgeous. Is there, obviously people can find you at Mummies Matter, and just like Joanna, once you hop off here, I'd love you to go in and share your information so people can find you, come and have a little look. Is there any kind of last thing that you'd love to share?
I think let me think. What I'd love to share is just that like I've talked about on here, really, like just trust your journey, trust yourself, have belief in yourself, and know that I think this situation that we're in at the moment has taught us all that an online part of your business is so important. And so for me, I've got a very face-to-face business and career, but by having this as an online version, it's really enabled me to continue working throughout this situation. So I think what Claire's offering everybody is a great way to grow your business, because it gives you an online presence, and she gives you the balls to go and do all your lives and all of that kind of thing, which is another fear. So it's just get out your own way and just get out there and go do it, because this is what we need, a future-proof business, really, for anything like this that might come up in the future.
Gorgeous. That's beautiful. There's been some lovely comments about how purposeful what you do is, and it's so needed for new mums. People saying that they love it. So there's some gorgeous comments that have come.
Thank you.
We'll see. Susie, you are such a pleasure to work with. You're a soul client. Obviously, I feel like you're more than just a client. I feel like we're also friends now. And I just think that the way you do everything that you do is gorgeous, and you have such a huge heart behind all of it. So thank you for hopping on. It's been awesome chatting to you. If people have got questions for Susie, you can pop them in. But thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thank you, Claire. Bye, ladies. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is a whole new experience for me, doing this like interview series. But I'm loving it. What is everyone thinking? Has anyone got any comments? Has anyone got any specific questions you'd like me to ask? Because I haven't actually. So by the way, just so you know, there was no like pre-preparedness going into today. I didn't write down questions. I haven't prepped everyone. I didn't say, oh, you need to talk about these things. So it is just a bit of a free flow conversation. So please feel free to give us back some, give us a bit of feedback. If you're popping in comments but you haven't put your name in, click the little button above here, because it's lovely to see who's sharing the comments. I'm going to have a sip of coffee, and then I'm going to bring on the next gorgeous woman. Okay, hang on. So our next guest is the most incredible, most gorgeous Lucy Halligan, and she's got there's different parts of what she does. I'm really excited to share. She's a multi-passionate woman, and let me bring her on now so we can talk about what she's up to. Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm loving the Claire show.
You're loving the Claire.
It's like Oprah Winfrey, but Claire show.
Well, that's funny. That's so funny that you said that, because like as a 5-year-old, I had the Claire show. Like I was like, welcome to the Claire show. my dreams have come true.
I love it.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Okay, so Lucy, we've known each other for a long time. Again, you're a sole client. We've been working together in different ways for a number of years now, and you've really grown what you're doing, how you do it, who you are as a person. It's been gorgeous. So there's probably 2 parts of the conversation I'd love to talk about today. I really want to talk about Massage the Senses and the business that you've built there and everything that you've done, because it was incredible. And then I'd also love to talk about obviously the fact that the coronavirus has had an impact right now on that business, but what you chose to do. And in a way, it was almost like the universe aligning for you in some ways, I think, and giving you a bit of a kick, because there'd been ideas brewing and things happening a little bit. So I'd love to talk about that a little bit too. So firstly, do you want to tell people about Massage the Senses and that business and what you're doing with that?
Yeah, so I've always been very, very passionate about touch and connection as a whole anyway. And I do believe that when we have that touch and bond with each other, we can connect in such a much more, passionate way. And I do believe that I have got a gift of my hands. And when I do massage someone, it's like I work intuitively, and I know just having that release and touching people in a way that I know within those 10 minutes that I do set up the business and when I run the events, is that people all of a sudden just tell you absolutely everything. And I think that's a real gift that I have. So I started my business, it's 6 years ago now. So 6 years in August. So in a couple of months' time, it'll be 6 years. And I decided to start an events company. So it was based on me having teams. So this was like basically my dream was to have 6 years ago to have teams all across the UK of therapists running loads of different events at multiple times and work at different shows. So prior, like 3 months back, I was looking at all my goals and I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely smashed them. And I think sometimes when you're in business, you don't always reflect back on what you wanted in the first place. So when I looked, I was like, wow, I've got teams in all of the different cities. So I had teams in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and that's where I met the gorgeous Susie as well. So Susie worked with me once as well. So, and then Liverpool, Glasgow and Edinburgh. So I've got therapists that we come together, lots of different shows. So we do shows ranging from baby shows to wedding shows to fitness events. So lots of different shows and lots of different people.
I remember you telling me about some of the fitness events and some of the big men you had to massage at some of those events.
Gosh. Yeah, it's really but it's very, very interesting when you do massage people at the fitness events that they end up telling you about them being bullied. Like majority of the times they pump themselves up, and like when you start speaking to them, they're like, yeah, I got bullied. And then, so it really interests me, the different types of shows and the different types of people that you get at those particular shows. And I do find like businessmen tend to run, like that's their go-to thing, because running is, and also women as well, running is a fast-paced exercise. So it's like a big stress reliever all in one go. So I find people really, really interesting. So I've been very passionate about being a mum as well, because I'm a mum of 2 children. I've got a teenager who is 13 and I've also got a 4-year-old. So when we first started working together, Claire, it's like I was breastfeeding and all sorts, like boobs were out. But what I found is that the transition of being a young mum and
working at a job and now having a young child and having a business as well, it really got me thinking on going down like the route where helping mums. And the baby shows really, like, everyone at a baby show was always really happy unless like their partner pissed them off at the show. But it was always a really nice time, and people would really open up at the baby shows, and there'll be some really beautiful stories. And we partnered up actually with a fertility company. So it's called Proxeed. So it's a pharmaceutical company. So they would take us on as therapists to all of the different fertility shows. And it just really gave me an insight into that whole journey of motherhood and how it's a journey for absolutely everyone. And I kept on saying to you, Claire, like,
pause 1 second.
Sorry.
I want to paint the picture here a little bit, because people are probably going, hang on.
Okay.
So I'm going to pause you 1 second, because so basically you, like 6 years ago, you had this dream. You're like, okay, I want to build this business where I have teams all over the UK who are going to all these big events, the wedding fairs, the fitness fairs, all the big things, and have like these massage places there so that people can have a massage, because you've always been super passionate about the magic of touch on touch to people and what it can create. And so basically you built that, you achieved that. And and I saw the back end of that journey. It was amazing watching you and seeing how you did it again from that place of real care and love and wanting to make a difference. And so as this business was operating, and you were pretty busy, to be honest, because you've got different fairs that you were running in different places. Like, so I remember you're like, I've got a fair here and I've got a fair here, and it was just amazing. And probably fair might not be the right word, because when I say fair, it makes me think of something small, but these events were massive events, right? And
like all of the UK events that you see, like the wedding, national wedding show, the baby show, so all of those type of events.
Yeah, exactly. But during this journey, you started to be pulled in new ways, didn't you? Because basically you were having conversations with people, and you're the kind of person who's really interested in people anyway. So you're having conversations. You were seeing that, particularly at these like baby events, that people were happy and there was something there, and you've had your own experience of 2 children kind of almost a decade apart, and so what that feels like. So this kind of started this almost secondary journey of like, actually, yes, I've got this business which is fabulous and running really well, and a new idea started to percolate. So I just wanted to kind of set the scene so that as you're sharing this, people are understanding. So God, tell us.
So when I was doing my massage, I was like, right, Claire, I've got this idea. I really want to, like, I don't know how, because obviously time is a big thing for absolutely everyone. And it's like, how do I have time to even just have this second thing? And I think a lot of it is just trusting exactly what that we do in all of the workshops and the work that we do, that actually there's always those signs that are always coming up. And it's the signs that it's like the little whispers when you really start silent. It's the whispering of like, it's here if you want it, but just like, come and find me. And then all of a sudden I'll be at a show, and then someone will just drop an opportunity, or I don't know, say something that's like, oh, and it's listening to those whispers. Because when you're totally present,
I've quite often called you the manifesting queen, because I think one of the things that I've seen you do beautifully, like you build a business very much in your feminine energy, and I think that there's not many women who grow businesses in their feminine energy, and I think you do the work, but you also hold this space for like the magic to happen. And I see you set an intention, which is incredible to see, and then I see you listening to those whispers, and then I see that boom, that thing happens, and you message me and you say, oh my God, Claire, you're not going to believe this. And I absolutely love it, because I get that message from you so often. It's like, oh my God, Claire, you're not going to believe this. And that's always your first words, and I'm like, I so am, because you've literally got the magic touch and it's incredible. Like you literally, like you think the thing and the next thing, this beautiful opportunity unfolds. And I'm not saying that it just happens for you, because I know that, you know, you work hard and you do all the things and you do the like inner work and you do the outer work and all those things. So I'm not saying, oh, you just get lucky. It's not that at all. I know that you manifest incredibly powerfully because you listen to those whispers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is that when I find that I don't listen to the whispers, then that's when the whole drama happens, and then then things will, I don't know, it's like a big block will all of a sudden happen. And I don't know, I think it's just really important when people are starting up businesses is just you'll have those you'll know the difference between the ego and those whispers of the gut instinct or the feminine, or at the moment I'm reading Pussy, so I don't know whether you've
that pussy of exclamation.
I think so, and it's so interesting, and I find the more that I am like working within, like, I know the spiritual work that I'm doing, the more that it's exciting me, and it's like I'm a child again, that I'm just like playful. And one of the things that you said a few years ago, which is massive, which is a huge thing for me, is like the more fun that I have, the more money that you make. And I remember the once you was like, we was on our first ever mastermind, and you was like, right, Lucy, what is it that you're going to do to have fun? And I was like, oh, well, my friend said that I should go on holiday with her, but I'm not sure whether I should because of the kids. And I made a list of all these excuses, and I was like, oh, because as a mum, you can really hold yourself back from putting them first before yourself. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to go. And when I went on holiday, like I'd made my first 5K whilst I was on holiday. And I went there. It was absolutely amazing. And I just remember just being on a call on the beach with you, and probably about 2 hours later messaging you with a picture of me and my burnt bum.
I know, 1 minute you were like, yes, I've had my first 5K month, Claire. And then you were like, oh, look how burnt I am, Claire. And I remember being like,
but I think that was one of the biggest things that really just got me going onto that journey of actually, you know, just stepping into that fun and just putting me first. And I think a lot of the time that's what really is interesting when I do work at these shows, is that when you are a parent or you are a mum, one of the biggest beliefs that I had is that how can I be a mum and also be successful as well? Like that was a huge belief for me for a very long time. And that, like, the work that you do with me is like unpicking all those past beliefs and really going into like what is it, Lucy? And we do end up talking for ages, but it is so interesting though what comes up, because you're not always like, it's not what you think it is. It really isn't. Whenever we go deep, it really isn't the things that happen.
And I think that's, I love that you're sharing that, because I think that so often it's really easy to get all caught up in, oh, well, to grow my business, I need to like create these funnels or do these launches or do these things. And actually, one of the things that I know for sure is that our energy is a huge part of us actually receiving in our business. And so one of the things that I'm passionate about is actually also stopping and filling up your own cup. And I know that in my own business growth and my own business journey, I felt like I was pushing against a brick wall at one point. And I remember someone saying to me, well, Claire, how do you want your day to look? And I was like, oh my God, like what if I did some of the things that I wanted to do in my day? And one of those things was to literally have a bath in the middle of the day. And when I started, because at the time I didn't have the money to book the massage or do this or do the other. So I was like, what can I do that's not going to cost me any money, but it's going to feel like amazing? I was like, a bath at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon feels very decadent. And so I started doing that. And it was in giving myself permission to look after me that that I started to actually grow my business and get more clients and see the results. And I think that I see that in lots of my clients as well. And Lucy, I think that that's definitely been part of your journey. The whole, actually, when you say yes to yourself, your business grows. When you look after your own needs, your business grows. When you remember to have fun, your business grows. And I've seen that you're a beautiful example of that. I think that, yes, you do the work, but then you've also really learned to listen to yourself, to look after yourself, to follow intuition, and, you know, seeing you really lean into your own intuition so much more and trust yourself, and, you know, go on this spiritual journey in a much stronger way has been really beautiful to watch.
And I think also it's remembering where you are. So it's also really good to reflect back, because like all of the views out there, like where I grew up was, and I was thinking about this the other day, it's like it weren't like, I was a family of 5 children, and I didn't have, like, we didn't have a lot of money at all. We just had enough to do the things, but we always had fun as a family, and I always remember that, and that didn't cost money. So I really had to reprogram my mind completely to allow money to flow in. Like, the whole money issue was a big block for me for a very long time. And even when I go back to my parents now, they do say things that do trigger me very much. And but what is also interesting is that the other day my dad turned around to me and said, have you seen this? Come here, I want to show you a video. And he was like, have you seen this? And literally he showed me Robert Kiyosaki motivation, like a motivational video. And I was like, yeah, I know about this, Dad. And he was like, oh, do you? And he's like, he's really good, isn't he? I was like, yeah. And it's, I don't know, it's like, because I do believe that we all are very much connected, it's like he is obviously seeing me, and my mum is seeing me on my Facebook and me going live, and that's also making them very proud as well. And I think as a parent, that's all you want your children to do is to be very proud. And there has been various conversations whilst I've been in my business, and because they only see like everything, the back end of it, they've been like, Lucy, don't you think it's best to get a job? And I think it's just having, like, I've always said to you, like, I am complete rebel. Even when I was at school, I didn't like doing my homework. And I will never, ever go back to a job, because I love being able to take the time out and do the things with my family and have that choice. And it's the choices that just give that freedom. So if anyone's looking to build a business or thinking about a business, I think the best thing to do is just invest in yourself, definitely.
Yeah. So Lucy, obviously Corona hit, and your massager senses, as it was, had to stop for a while. Tell everyone about, so I hate the word pivoted because everyone was using it a bit, and you didn't really pivot at all. You just brought together your ideas and all the things that had been percolating that to take you on the next step of your journey. Do you want to share a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so whenever I've had anything, so one of the things that me and Claire came up with last year ago was an idea of When Life Happens, and that was a book that was circulating in me. And when I started, I actually wrote a book proposal to Hay House, which was absolutely awesome. And when I was looking back at the book proposal, one of the chapters in there is called Adversity is Enlightenment. And when I look back at it, because I had a big, massive cry to my partner, because I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to be like, social distancing as it is now, it's like people are going to be scared to touch one another because of what's going on in the world. And I was having a cry for myself, I was having a cry for all of my teams, and I really had to step back and be like, okay then. So I do believe that, you know, when you have this storm, there's always some light at the end of it. And it really made me conjure up all of these ideas and gave me time to actually do the things that I'd been putting off for a very long time. And when it's the things that you put off is the things that push you forward. So like the things like email marketing and all of the techie stuff that are really, I don't want to say dislike.
You dive into some of the tech.
I'm diving into the tech stuff, and it's just really exciting because I've came up with something which I'm really passionate about, which is a no drama mama life and a membership. So it will be running online, and it will have everything that I've learned with, I don't know, like a sibling sanctuary for kids mindfulness and things for siblings to do. And also because I've taught in baby massage, as I have, like the back end of last year, I qualified in baby massage. I was having a group of mums that I was doing weekly massage groups with, also teaching that touch and connection and all of the science behind it, because I've been learning so much with like the psychological and the chemicals that are released when you bond with your baby and have that touch and connection. And just like I've really been geeking on all of the science and all the books, but also just, I don't know, just there is no book to be a parent. And I think when you are a new mum, like I was just listening to the back end of Susie, when you're a mum, there is no manual that you can follow. So I think when you start off being a parent, especially when you're like you and your partner, people find it so difficult because they're used to having that script or that manual or that thing to follow, and then all of a sudden you've got this child and you need to work intuitively with that child because every single child is different. It's like saying me and you are exactly the same, and we're not. So like when I had my daughter, there was like, that was in 2007, and then I had my son in 2016. There were so many things that were different, and the things that you should and could and would. And I think the shoulds, coulds, woulds are all just not good for the mental health at all, because I don't know, it's just, you can take advice for so many different people, and it can completely paralyze you, and you can go into a deep dark hole. And I think a lot of mums that I've spoke to is that they find themselves so overwhelmed with what they should be doing that they don't allow themselves to just be.
Yeah. So the No Drama Mama is all about empowering women to learn to trust themselves as mums and celebrate the journey, and forget some of the shoulds, and to forget the perfectionism, and forget trying to follow the rule book almost, and give themselves permission to actually trust that they know themselves, they know their baby, and they're doing an amazing job, right? Like that's kind of at the essence of it, what it's about. And then it really pulls in all the things that you're super passionate about touch and about connection and about community and about support and about you know, being in the moment and all those other kind of aspects, doesn't it? It pulls together all of it.
And also a lot of the things that come up when I'm at the shows is that the connection between them and their partner, it diminishes as well. So it's like having that, like that space where women can actually open up into a group and be able to share and laugh and cry and just have fun, really. And that's a place and community that I'm going to have, and it's been born.
So in a moment, Lucy, I'm going to get you to share any links and things like that you want to. When you hop off, share the links in the group so people know how to come and find you. A couple of questions before you go. One is, what's the best thing? You know, you made the decision to grow your own business. There's these different phases of your business. What's been the best thing about making that decision and actually growing this business of your own?
Oh, the best decision is invest.
So
invest.
Making an investment.
Investment in you, taking the time out for you, investing in, like, you need to, every single time that I've made a big leap, I've invested in myself in some kind of way. So whether it be going on mastermind with yourself, or a new course, or some kind of investment. But like, exactly like Susie says, like, the best investment is having a Claire. Like, you can't get any better than having a Claire, because honestly, there's been moments, and I really don't want to cry, but there's been moments throughout my journey where I've lost people, and you've just been one of those people that, like, you are a friend as well as a coach. And I really didn't want to cry in front of everyone.
You're gonna make me cry as well.
Honestly, I think there's something really magical about having a coach that has your highest intentions at the forefront of their mind. And you, like, even though you put yourself first, you put your client above anybody else. And that is just, there's not many, and you completely lead by the heart. It's nothing like, you always give. There's no, like, I don't know, the amount of gifts that I've received from the post from you, like, for just being me, like, that is just I don't know, you're just one of these special human beings, and you're just going to do, I could just see you just taking over the world with your Claire McPherson show.
So thank you for sharing that, because I think I do say, especially when clients are first starting with me, I have got you, and it's not just spiel to say, oh, I'm going to support you, I'm going to be this. It's not all just words. I actually do really mean it. And every single one of my clients, I really do care about the journey that you're on, and I really do see all of your potential. And Lucy, you are incredible. You blow me away with your passion, with the trust that you have through life, with the journey that you've been on, with how willing you are to lean into that potential and take that leap again and again and again, and the lives that you touch because of it. I remember when your business, had been almost stopped because of the coronavirus and you couldn't do anything right now. The thing you said to me was not, oh my God, what am I going to do? It was, oh my God, how am I going to look after all, like, my girls and my people how do I look after them? And that really, I was like, that's so powerful. You care so deeply about the difference you make in the world with what you do and how you support other people, and I think it's beautiful. And just to share briefly, because this is really funny, it was my 40th birthday earlier this year, and Lucy surprised me in two ways. So firstly, she set up this dinner, which was amazing. It was really funny because I turned up an hour early, which was hilarious. But so we went out for dinner, which was amazing, and I was like, and that blew me away, because I was like, you know what? How often can you actually go to dinner with clients and have an incredible time? We had the best fun, the best conversation. So that was amazing. But then it was so funny. She then messaged me on my actual birthday, and she was like, Claire, are you going to be around at, like, it was 6 o'clock or something? I was like, oh yeah, I can be. I thought there was something wrong, right? I was like, oh no, it's like, hope Lucy's okay. So I was like, yeah, I can be. I'll make sure I'm here. I'll get on a call or whatever. So it was a bit of a crazy day, but I was like, right, I need to just hop on a call to Lucy because I'm a bit worried maybe there's something happening. And so I got on the call, and she goes, Claire, go downstairs and open the door. And I was like, pardon? I was like ready to do a little coaching session with her, and I was like, pardon? She's like, go downstairs and open the door. And my house was a bomb site because it was literally my birthday, and I hadn't it was the biggest mess you've seen in your life. And the kids were like, it was just total chaos in my house, right? And so I go down, I open the door, and Lucy had organized a massage therapist to come to my house to give me a special birthday massage. And I was so, not only that, she comes with a bottle of, like, favorite red wine and all of this as well. And I was so blown away. I was so blown away. It meant the world to me. It really did. And I just thought, oh my God, I actually get to work with women who are so thoughtful and amazing. I'm probably going to cry now. The total change makers in this world who lead with their heart, who live full out, who make a difference, who decide to make their dreams happen. And it just touched me so hugely. So Lucy, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being such a lighthouse, for all the lives that you touch with what you do, for the fact that you trust yourself to go there and support people, the way, just all of it. So I just wanted to say thank you. So definitely, I know I'm all emotional. I need to sort myself out. And I'm running totally over, so I can see, like, in the little waiting room, we've got the next two people, and they're probably going, come on, Claire, I get a move on. So Lucy, I just wanted to say just thank you. You're amazing, and I really appreciate you coming on today. I really appreciate you being in my life, and I feel very blessed to coach women as amazing as you. So yeah. Thank you.
And I love you too. But yeah, kind of to cut you through, I think anyone starting a business, just have those ideas, like literally mind map it, put it all, dump it onto a sheet, everything that you can think of in your head, just dump it onto a sheet, and then plan it from there, because sometimes it's just so overwhelming where to start. Is just have that thought in your mind, that name in mind. And if you've not done Claire's challenge, like, that is absolutely awesome. Just start with Claire's challenge, start up your Facebook group, and yeah, just trust and flow. And if you lead in from, I do believe if you lead in from the heart, and everything that you do from your heart, it will always out in some form. Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things, is that, like, when you do lead from the heart, and you doing it out of pure love, and not thinking about the money, that's a huge thing for me. It's like, whenever I do something, I'm not thinking about the money. I'm always thinking, do you know what? I'm leading from the heart, the money will come.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all of that, Lucy. Once you hop off, share your little links in the comments so people can come and find you and see what you're up to. And yeah, just thank you for being here. Sending lots of love.
And I'm hot and sweaty now.
I'm sweaty now. Right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Lucy. Bye, beautiful. Okay. Oh my gosh. Right. Whew. I've got lots of comments like, oh God, I'm gone. How lovely. Oh, thank you. Dear me. Right. So as I take a breath, let me take another sip of coffee. And I have got another amazing woman to bring to you today. Two more amazing women, actually, before we're done. So, as you can imagine, my coffee is extremely cold now, but I didn't bring a glass of water. Take a breath, indeed, Sean. So, how are you finding this, by the way? Is it useful? Are there questions that you would like me to be asking that maybe I'm not asking? Bit of a new experience for me, this, but I think I'm loving it. I hope you are too. And I just love the chance to celebrate these awesome women. So my next guest is an amazing woman who is really kicking ass with what she's doing. I'm not going to say it. I'm like holding it back there. When she came up with the idea and when we started talking about it, I was like, oh my God, I absolutely love this. It's something that I feel really passionate about. And I think that as she shares it with you, you will too. And again, she's multi-talented, multi-passionate. There's actually different parts of her business, but they actually all work together and make sense. So let me bring on the gorgeous Joanne Wu. Let me add you in. Hi, Joanne.
Hello. I was glad, oh, it's a bit echoey. I was glad that you were delayed because the gardener started mowing.
Live TV, hey. Oh, Joanne, we might be having a little Wi-Fi issue going on here.
Issue?
Can we hear you now?
Is it me, do you think?
Yeah.
I can hear you, and yeah, is that okay?
Okay, let's see you now, so that's good. So Joanne, do you want to, so there's obviously kind of two things that you do, but they're all totally tying together. So do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, well, I left teaching after a 14-year career. I'd totally fallen out of love with it, and I spent a long time, about a year, just recovering, like mentally, physically from that. But after that, I kind of knew that I needed to just find what it was that I loved to get involved with. And what had happened to me with my relationships and a lot of relationship trauma at work and personally, is that I'd been in quite a difficult place and just completely lost myself, lost my identity. So I'd been in a very abusive relationship since I was 14, and come out of that, and then went straight into a very similar kind of bullying workplace scenario. So I was like kind of bruised, very badly bruised, and feeling that I totally lost who I was, because where I was then, I considered myself this loving wife, partner, mother, but also when I lost like my wife status, I ploughed myself into teaching, and that's who I was. So my identity was very much wrapped up in the roles I was playing for other people. And I spent a lot of time doing personal development off the back of a social networking business called Arbon. So found personal development and suddenly fell in love with knowing who I was. And really, I realized I hadn't had a clue who I was all of this time I'd been alive. I'd got to 30 odd and hadn't a clue who I was. I'd been just living for everybody else. And I became very, very passionate about wanting women to discover themselves very early so they could avoid getting into careers that weren't lighting them up, could avoid getting into those really damaging relationships that I'd been in. And first of all, it started off as thinking, right, when do I need to start this for people? Because especially girls, I wanted to go, I thought, well, I'm a teacher. And the logical way was kind of, well, let's go with going into schools and doing PSHE. And that was obviously logical, but just didn't fire me up. I know I was talking to you about it and we kept saying there's something more to this, there's something more. I'd also found this being a licensee for dance business. And that I still do that, because when I went to see Katie, who was the person, the creator of On Broadway Dance Fitness, what I told her was I wanted to light women up. I wanted them to find their inner showgirl. That's part of who I wanted to find in me, and really own that in themselves, that part of them, the inner showgirl. So to me, that's part of embracing your woman, the woman inside you that you've not allowed to be coming out. So that was part of it. And I think I probably got in touch with you to make a better job of that, because I realised actually over all the years that I've been dibbing and dabbing in things, I actually am quite entrepreneurial. But when I got in touch with you, I didn't realise that at all. I really didn't believe in myself. And I thought, I'm just not going to do a good job of this at all. So that's why I got in touch with you. And you did help me a little bit, but you just kept saying, now there's more to this. And I kept going, yeah, there is. And I remember saying the day we touched on it, and I was like, the day we touched on it was the day when I said, I want to be like a demon in the bedroom and a lady out on the street. And I want to capture all of me, and I want women to capture all of them and to show that off to everyone, not hide the bits. And just, I was very much a lady to everybody, I think.
I just think that's so powerful. And I just want to have this conversation a little bit. I think it's so powerful. I think as women, too often without realizing it, we are living life for other people, or we wear a mask, or we be the person we think that we should be. And I think obviously the experiences that you went through kind of forced you almost to, from that place of going, well, who on earth am I, to start discovering who you were. And you obviously found that hugely eye-opening and empowering. And I think as women, when we start to discover our true selves, and when, most importantly, when we give ourselves permission to start being our true selves, like all of that, like the great, but also the messy, and be, I am all of it. Like I am the passionate, but I might also be the angry, and I might be, this in this way, but also that, because I'm actually the whole woman, right? And I think that is so incredibly powerful. And so firstly, it was your own journey that you went on around this, and then you started to realize just how powerful it was, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the moment I started to feel like me again, because I got into a new relationship, and I did lots of personal development, and I felt like I was getting in places with the business and stuff like that, knowing who I was a bit more, but I was still very hard. I'd got into this place where I'd been hurt, I've been damaged. Now I'm this person who's so strong. I created a different persona, which really wasn't me either. Like this strong, hard woman who wouldn't show her feelings, like, don't touch me, I'm not affectionate. Like that was that was the me that got into trouble last time. That was the me that let herself get hurt last time, and I'm not being that person. And I realized I was very unhappy at that place, because when I started to look at, I think you asked me one day, like, what was it that made you happy before? Because, you know, we figured out it wasn't the teaching, we figured out it wasn't the guy because he was a rotter. So what was it that made you happy before? And it was like, well, it was me being me. When I was being the loving wife, that made me happy, whether he deserved it or not. I loved being that woman. You know, when I was being sexy, I loved being that woman. And all the things I started to look at about what I loved about me were very feminine energy. And I realized that I had completely stepped into masculine energy. And I was like, woohoo, I've hit the jackpot. This is like, we talked about the idea of the whole woman with you before. But then this word femininity came, and I realized all the things were the feminine. I started really getting excited about femininity, and it's really, and then I started talking to people, and women's faces. I mean, I don't think there was one, even your face. even in a group of like-minded women, strong business women who probably had done lots of personal development themselves in a group. I remember going, and it was your mastermind weekend. And I thought, this is where it's going to be received really well. I've realized it's about femininity. And a few of the women's faces went, and I was like, oh my word. And it was almost as if, I think I can't paraphrase, but it was, someone said something to me as in you're letting the side down. How could you ever go back, she said, to feminine? Why would you do that? We've come so far as women. And I was like, oh, why? Wow. I said, because I was so sure it was a good thing, this word of femininity. I was so sure going back to that. And even the word back, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Stepping back, back into the feminine, stepping into the feminine for me was positive. But all I could see on women's faces when I mentioned it was, how dare you?
It was really,
how dare you suggest?
Yeah, it was really interesting, wasn't it? Because the conversations we'd had about femininity, it's like, actually, how powerful is it to own your femininity and to realize that you know, there's this part of you that is the creator and is just so magical and is all these kind of things. But we hadn't, because we were almost on the same page with that. We hadn't realized that some people would be seeing it as a negative, that when they heard the word feminine, they would think like soft or a pushover, or to be in the kitchen, or like to be you know, like looking after your man or something like that. And it was really eye-opening, wasn't it? That it was like, whoa, actually, you know, we're not all singing on the same hymn book here. There are really different opinions of what it means to be feminine and what embracing femininity really is. Yeah.
And I suppose because I'd gone through that and I'd become that hard person, so I knew that, but I'd gone so far into it that I thought this is going to be a great thing. And when I was sharing ideas with you about how to share it with clients, I could see your face going, nah, that's not going to work because it's too soft. Again, we're hitting those kind of, we're making people imagine this 50s woman who's behind a sink, who's got the duster in one hand, she's got her suspenders on underneath a skirt for a guy. She's, you know, this whole image of you are there for him was being kind of imagined. That's not what I was saying, but that's what was being interpreted.
Yeah, so we had a whole conversation. Someone's popped in, feminine doesn't mean subservient. Absolutely, exactly. But for some reason, some people seem to be taking it that way, and it was a real shock to us. We were kind of like, whoa. And so yeah, you knew that you wanted to really help those women where you had been, where you were really in your masculine, when you really almost didn't feel safe to be in your feminine, right? So it was like you were in your masculine, you were go, you were do, you were like, let's, like, you know, so you were very much in your masculine feminine energy. And we realized that those women who are super in their masculine energy seem to be seeing feminine energy as somehow weaker or somehow just not as much. And we realized that we, like, for your ideal clients, we needed to kind of meet them where they were at.
Yeah, I needed to go back to the pain that I felt when I was in that place myself. And I remember it just being very lonely. I was behind a shield, I was behind armor, and I wasn't letting, whilst I wasn't hurting, I suppose. I wasn't letting myself get hurt. I also wasn't allowing connection, because no one can get through that. So that's where we started off. But also this kind of, I was really good at starting projects and getting really good ideas and loving the passion behind it. And then I'd get into the masculine energy of, because as a teacher, you always had to work so hard to get anything done. And I train, even as a teacher, I trained myself to do, like you say, this doing energy, this pushing energy, this forcing energy, goals. And it even fallen out of love with that. So my business even had to change into a feminine, softer form for me to enjoy it and to get the consistency that I wanted.
Yeah.
Because I was starting all the time, because it was so difficult. When I was pushing, I had to rest and then like push again and rest and it wasn't flowing either. It was hard work. It didn't feel like the purposeful, passion-led business that we had been excited. Yeah. We brainstormed, and I could tell you were getting goosebumps, and I was getting goosebumps, and that stopped. So I had to really take myself away from that doing energy, and I went for a spa day, and got this download. And we talked about that energy of what would my client's energy be around femininity, because they're the ones resisting it. So they're going to be really like anti-femininity. And I just got this, it's the F word. Like, it's the most like loathsome, degrading, dirty word you could think of. It's the F word. And then I was like, whoa. And I was just sat there and I was thinking, what are the gifts that we get from going into owning our femininity? And I was coming up with all of the words that I'd got, all the gifts that I'd received, like flow and fortune, fierceness, fuckability, all of those like powerful words, fate, faith, feeling back, that feeling, because you lose your feeling when you become hardened and you've got into that masculine energy. And I was like, oh my God. And I've always wanted to be a writer. So in my mind, when I was doing that, it was about a chapter each. And I love the way you kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit and said, yeah, great, it's a book, but hang on a minute, we need to be consistent with the business. And I was like, let's make it a month. You write a month, you coach a month, you write a month, you coach a month. And so now I have a consistency in my business that is from my inspired place all the time. I'm just working from flow and a being energy. It's not a push, and it just flows all the time. There's no stopping, starting. Now I have this like wonderful flow. And obviously mostly the tech stuff and all of the doing bits you helped me with, because I didn't have those skills before. So, but now as I do that, now I write a process. Every time I do add a new step, I've got a process to follow, which actually I don't even need now. I checked it this month and I said, I've done it all, because I'm in the flow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that I'm so passionate about, because when we talk about the tech side of things, I know that there's a lot of people in my tribe who are pretty much technophobes. They're like, oh, like I'm not the tech person. And I know that because I was not the tech person. And I'm really passionate about not just teaching you how to do the tech, but you actually learning to get into flow with the tech, because you can actually, you don't need to be amazing at tech to actually lean into flow and to be able to embrace it in a new way that really supports you in growing your business and getting more visible, right?
That's actually one of the things that you've really helped me with, because I feel like you believe in me, and I always do work behind the scenes anyway. Big personal development fan, and I come to you with something. I found this out about myself. We thrash it between us. It's not just business stuff now. It's gone deeper than that. I'm coming up with, this is a block. This is obviously a block for me, and we go through it. But doing those kind of things has helped me be visible, because I'd visible in front of 30 kids, fine. Visible in front of an audience of women and being comfortable with just being me and not being the professional teacher or putting on a front is very different. And I think I was very scared right back when I started with you doing the mastermind work. I was very scared of being visible. And so I was doing a lot of the work behind the scenes, a lot of my work, a lot of writing down the ideas, a lot of posts that were like a little image. And then I'm not being visible enough, not getting out there enough to make an impact. And that's what I want. This is for women. This is for women to have that power back And
Yeah.
I remember we had a big discussion about the word power because I couldn't use it. Remember?
Yeah, well, we did.
Even, but power as a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Being powerful as a woman in the feminine side of power.
In the feminine energy.
Power, yeah. And I just love that, you know, this is a journey that you went on yourself first and that you discovered, and you really went there, you know, in our sessions. You go deep, you do the inner work, you absolutely 100% walk your talk, and you're so passionate about the fact that actually, you know, we all have that feminine energy in us, whether we're male or female. Actually, you know, men have the feminine energy as well, and it's important for us to understand both sides. And I just love that you're making a difference, that you've really embraced this F word, that you're doing it in a really unique, totally you way. And for me, it feels so authentically you. I think it's super powerful. There's someone here, I don't know who it was, but said there's a couple, and you know, this is so powerful. I need to find my feminine energy. You need to go follow Joanne then, because she will help you without a shadow of a doubt. When it comes to, you know, you building this business, what's been one of your biggest learnings?
Do you know what? I go back to me a lot, but I can only help others by my own experience. So every time I do an F word, it's funny, I say to you, I think I had this sorted, and that's why I'm teaching about this is why I'm coaching about it. And then I do an F word and something hits me with that word. So I think like I've always like faith or feeling or whatever it is that word was, it always comes and punches me in the gut and goes, right, you've done the work, but now let's go deeper. And every time it does that, and I'm like, now I've stopped being surprised, because it's like, okay, I'm like, so it's like beating me around the head with a stick. So because to serve my women, my tribe, I've got to go through the work, and also not to be scared that I know it all before I'm giving my wisdom, because there are women who are always one step behind, maybe 2, 3 steps behind, that can learn from what I've learned.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, Joanne, because I think that's something that comes up time and time and time again. I see it in Facebook posts, I have conversations around it, and it's that conversation of like, oh my God, like, can I really teach this? Can I really help, you know, other people with this? And I think that as women, we question ourselves, and we can put that pressure on ourselves sometimes to think that we need to be there. There's no such thing as there though, right? We know it's actually a journey, not a destination. And I just think so many women hold themselves back because they question and they doubt whether they're good enough. And I think it really is that whole, well, and this is what I know I've said to you before, and I know I've said it to other people, it's that whole, well, you know what? The first thing is, are you a few steps ahead of your soul client? Yes? Okay, brilliant. 2, do you believe you've got value to give? Like, because of your journey, because of the tools you've got, do you feel like you can actually give them some value with this? Yes. Okay, awesome. Then 3, who are you not to share this? Do you know what I mean? And it's realizing that actually you've been through this journey and you've learned these things for a reason, and that there is no such thing as being there. But, and I think this is huge, as long as you're willing to keep doing your own work on your own journey, then you're always going to be ahead of them. You know what I mean? As long as you're walking your talk and being authentic and being real, because I'm very passionate about that. And I know that you are as well, Joanne, and you do this. This is one of the things that I love about you. You really do this big time. I remember last summer when I don't think I knew you were doing it, and I think you messaged me and you were like, right, you know, I've taken myself away, I've got my little one-man tent, and I'm camping, and I'm going to Glastonbury in this place. Was it Glastonbury in this place?
Yeah.
And I'm just like discovering a deeper depth of myself. And I was like, whoa, how amazing is that? How many, you know, I think just as a woman going and doing that and pitching up a one-man tent, and we don't do those kind of things enough, I don't think. And so I just loved that you went there, you did it, you were like, no fear. And I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. So
I think early on I sabotaged myself with the belief that getting clients or going out there with the visibility, just believing, almost thinking like, I can't, who am I to share this? Who am I to give this? I haven't got enough experience. What if someone phones me up or is on a call and I don't know what to say?
Yeah.
And I was sabotaging my business growth by just sticking in that place. I was almost scared of getting clients, really. scared of getting people signing on for the workshops, because I'm like, oh my gosh, now I've got an audience. Now I have to be, and what if I'm not good enough?
I think people will really resonate with that. So what's your one piece of advice if people are feeling that way?
I think you have to do work on the blocks. I love journaling. I get so much out when I journal, and I get so many aha moments, and I think I write something down and go, oh gosh, and it was in there all along, but it hits you and you get a bit teary and you think, I don't believe in me, or that's what that is. And just getting out. I think a lot of feel the fear and do it anyway for me personally is a massive thing, because when I did my dancing, my licensee dancing, I had to do a exercise to music qualification, which was 2 weekends long. The theory weekend didn't bother me at all, throw it at me, but we had to do a physical or practical at the end of it, where I was teaching a class of people, and I was petrified of that. But I just paid. When I read the second day, I was like, oh no, but I just thought, I've got to do it because I want to do it. I want to help women dance. I love to dance. It feeds my soul, and it's part of the feminine energy that I think we need to get out there, especially for our sensual and sexual side. And I was like, I have to do it. I just have to do it. And with you again, like with the investment, sometimes you're like the fear, because I'd been out of teaching for so long, the fear of paying for a coach and doing the mindset, the workshops and all of that, for me, masterminds, it was a big commitment. That was scary for me. It was a huge thing, but I knew talking to you, this was what I had to do. And I think feel the fear and do it anyway, and listen to the fear and journal on it, and just discover what it is about it that's stopping you. Those are the two things I would say about that.
Yeah, so feel the fear and do it anyway. Don't just try to pretend it's not there. Give yourself permission to look at it a little bit, but don't let it stop. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I love it. Amazing. Joanne, it's awesome to have you here. It's awesome to have you sharing about this. Like I said to everyone else, I'd love you to put your bits in the comments afterwards, because I know there's women here who are going to be thinking, oh my god, yes, like this resonates. I need to like tap into my femininity a little bit more and trust it and allow myself to go there and experience these parts of myself. And I just think seeing you experience all of these parts of yourself in the conversations and things that we've had has been beautiful. I remember one of the things you said to me at the beginning was, I felt like I used to feel like a wallflower. And I remember you saying that, because it really, the image of it stuck in my head. If you were to say anything to help women stop feeling like a wallflower by embracing their femininity, just in a few words, what would that be?
It's let your uniqueness shine, and don't be afraid of what that is. So I like, my dancing is what makes me like, I would go on the dance floor with no one on there, and just make the quirkiness your thing, your quirkiness, your thing.
To be quirky or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous. Joanne, thank you so much. Have you got any last little words?
Just embrace your F word. Don't let it be a swear word. I really don't want it to be an F word, but we're gonna really change it, because I feel like when I say this is a revolutionary type of feminism, I feel that's when I get goosebumps, because I feel like the word feminism has been twisted and made a little bit more like an attack, and it's more in male energy. Actually, it's a fight, and it's almost like we fight too much. And because we're ashamed, and because we feel expectation, and it's loaded. That feeling of being feminine is loaded. It's like we're moving away from femininity, and we want to move towards it. And so for me, it feels like a different feminism. It's about embracing all we are as women, not fighting men and trying to be like men. That's not what I want feminism to be.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Gorgeous. The F word, baby. Awesome. Joanne, just thank you so much. I love what you're doing. I love you, Jenna. I love working with you, because you are so super deep. You walk your talk. You're incredible. And I'm really excited about your business getting out into the world, because it's just super, super needed. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's been amazing.
My other half says that I always come off skipping off a call with you, so and it makes our relationship better as well. So,
there you go. Coach, you does it all.
Thank you.
Have you got, if if I know that there are some people here who might be on the fence about joining the academy, and I know you haven't done that, the academy is new, but you haven't worked with me in that way, but just in terms of having a coach saying yes to that pull, have you just got one or two things that you would say about it?
It's massive for me. We meet fortnightly, don't we? And I'm waiting. I know when it's coming up. Business questions are great for me. There's like little nigglies here, and you help me. I think we focused really on that at the beginning, but now it's like, right, I know I'm stuck because my mindset. And I think the people around you don't understand business, and they don't understand growth. And it's such a lovely thing to have people who understand what you say. I try, and when you talk about my beliefs are stopping me here and this, that, people who aren't awake don't get it. And just to have someone on the other side of the phone or of a Zoom chat who gets it and says, I understand, and you're working hard, and don't beat yourself up. And rather than just placating you, saying, oh, you're great, or oh, just give it up, there's someone who says, right, let's sort it, but with some very deep stuff that's going to transformational. Because without that, I would probably just be, I am a jogger, by the way. I'm a jogger, and I like to be a jogger. I used to be a sprint and then stop and then sprint and then stop, but I like to be a jogger, and you keep my momentum going.
Yeah.
And I think you need someone to be accountable to, because now that I know every fortnight I've got to have done like some of the stuff. Like, I've got to keep going. I've got to have something to talk about as well. So that the momentum and the growth and that tribe feeling.
Absolutely amazing. Jo, thank you. Go pop your comments in, because I know that there's some people who will want to come and have a look at what you're doing, and just thank you very, very, very much for being here.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, awesome. So there's been lots of comments pop up. I'm going to just scroll back a little bit before we bring on our final gorgeous woman. Let me have a quick look. What we got there? Paula, gorgeous Paula, exactly the same here. And thanks to Claire, this has also changed for me. Obviously, I don't know exactly what part of the conversation it was. Paula is, again, one of my gorgeous clients. Exactly the same here. And thanks to Claire, this has also changed for me. I now know who I am and what my potential is. Boom. That's gorgeous to hear, Paula. What else have we got? Just seeing if there's any little bits. Sending love to the moment, to our inner child. Absolutely. I totally hear and get you, Joanne. That's lovely to see. You need to find your feminine energy. Feminine energy is just so powerful. When you commit to a coaching program, realistically, what is the time commitment per day or week? Okay, good question. So let me just answer that question briefly before we bring on the next woman. So basically, you will get a training to watch each week. Sometimes you can, I listen to trainings when I'm out for a walk or doing other things, and then I come back and do a bit of work on them. So there'll be a training to watch in your own time each week. There's a live call that I will coach you around each week. There's 2 live calls. You just come to one, and that's probably an hour to an hour and a half. And then, you will have work to do. But as I say, everyone has their own speed. So it's really about you working at your own speed. There's no point going hell for leather, as my grandma used to say. There's no point going hell for leather and then getting yourself in a mess. You want to find your own pace. And the way that the academy works, the way that any of my programs work, is that they support you at going the right pace for you. Because as I say, some people are the runners, some people are the joggers, some people are the walkers, and it's about you doing this in a way that works for you. I'm not about the cookie cutter approach, and I'm not about everyone having to be at the same stage doing the same thing every week. It's actually about, okay, where are you this week, and how are we moving you one step forward so that next week you're further on. And that's really important to me. It's also important that it's about what moves the needle. If you watched the masterclass the other day, I was talking about spaghetti marketing and how that can take up so much time. And actually, it's quite often about working smarter or more focused. And also that procrastination that lots of us can do, once we get rid of that, actually you can be working Instead of thinking, you can actually like create much more quickly, and get into flow, which makes a huge difference. So I hope that answers the question a little bit. Different energy indeed. And I think Joanne's just put her thing on. Joanne, so hello ladies, here's my workshop. Fantastic. So we're on to our final gorgeous woman for the day. Let me have another sip of very cold coffee. So again, this is a gorgeous woman who I've been coaching for a while. She's got a fantastic business. I'm going to bring her on. We're going to dive into what she's doing, who she works with. I know that if I had found her when I was in my mid-20s, it would have been absolutely amazing. So without any further ado, hi Arisha. So this is the gorgeous Arisha. Her business is called The Coachable You, but within that, what do you do, Arisha?
So I am a quarter life crisis coach. I support women who are really struggling to find their footing in life and really like truly find their purpose, basically. I think that was like massively key for me enhancing my life, was finding my purpose and how to live in that purpose as well.
Gorgeous. So let's talk a little bit about that, and then let's talk a little bit about, you know, your journey of creating this business, because I loved when we started having the conversation around this quarter life crisis thing. You totally lit up, right? And it was like, whoa, absolutely, yes. So share a little bit, because I remember this so clearly. Like, talk a little bit about that whole, you know, you do this, and then what? Share some of that with everyone.
So for me, I started off in the corporate world. I worked in a HR company. So coaching has my coaching's grown from that side of things. And I obviously met you and joined one of your programs and really struggled to find my niche and like find what my speciality was and what I loved about coaching. And I think finding your niche and things like that are really, really personal. So I found mine just based off of the back of the struggles that I had in my 20s and really figuring out who I was in this amazing world that we live in. And so I tried everything. I know you know that I tried different courses. I was on different masterminds. I was on so many things, just trying to figure out what I can do and what I can help with and what my thing is. And I think when I found it and when I clicked, and it literally just everything falls into place. And it does take time, but it also takes the work. It also takes really sitting with yourself and being quiet and not listening to what the people around you expect you to do or want from you or what everybody else is doing around you. I think it's really about listening to who you want to show up as and who you are aligned with and who you feel you can connect with and help and support.
I think that's so powerful, because there's a couple of things you said there that I think will really resonate with people. I think firstly, it's really easy to be pulled off track because you see other people doing other things and it being successful. And it's easy to think, oh, well, should I be doing that or should I be doing that? One of the things I sometimes see in my programs is sometimes I'll see someone shift businesses to what I'm doing almost. And it's like, hang on, like stay in your lane. What's your lane? What do you want to do? What's your genius zone? So I think that it can be easy to be pulled astray. But the other thing that I know people struggle with, and I hear this thing, people say, you know, I really want to come on your program, but I'm not really clear yet on what it is that I'm doing. And so, and I'm always like, that's why you need to come on the program so you can figure it out. What do you say? Like, what's in your with your experience, and obviously the fact that, you know, it really was a journey, you finding your thing. What would you say to people who are struggling with that? They're like, you know, I know that I love doing this. I know I want to coach or do this or the other, but like I haven't like found my specific thing.
So I 100% would say that I've got like that monkey mind, that mind that's like, go, 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 go. This is great. This is great. This is what I'm interested in. I'll read this next. I'll listen to that next. And it's great to get all of that energy and all of that information. It's wonderful. But if you don't have somebody to bounce ideas off of, and somebody who, like me personally, I feel like you see my purpose. Like, you see it before I saw it. You see it like brighter than I do some days. And I think it's really nice to have somebody who has your back like that and can say, okay, I think you just need to be a bit quiet now and really focus on what you need to do. And you can get ideas anywhere and anyhow, but it's so important to have somebody to talk that through with. Because I could say that I'm a quarter life crisis and do absolutely nothing with it. And I can say I'm a coach and only focus on this particular group. But it's about bringing those things together and bringing those things together in your way, in your personal way as well. And that's something that I've loved. Like, you've been such an incredible coach because you've been able to just help me hone in on that. But also the girls in the groups as well, like that kind of community that you bring together. And I think it only comes around certain types of energy. And the groups that I've been in with you have that energy and have that support. And I love that.
They are amazing groups, aren't they? And I'm always blown away. I always feel so grateful for the women who are in that space and how you all support each other and how it's such an open, honest, real, beautiful, like heart-driven space. I love that. That's really, I think that's really useful, some of what you shared there, Alicia. So tell everyone a little bit more about how do you help people with what you do? Like, who's your ideal client? How do you help people?
So my ideal client is anybody between the ages of like 24 to 45. I think anybody who is in that age range and has just followed the path of usualness. Like, for me, I went to school, went to college, went to uni and started working. There was no question about what I was doing in that whole period of time. It was what everybody else does, what everybody expects you to do. Get the best job you can possibly get the best degree you can possibly get, and just do it. Like, earn money, fall into that whole cycle of life, and then you're fine. But for me, I wasn't fine. Like, I followed that whole process and it didn't feel great. I felt so lost. I felt like there was no meaning. I was just living. I love your saying about, like, don't live an echo type of life. Like, every day should be amazing. Every day should feel like you've grown in some way, and that's what I was looking for and that's what I needed. So I massively help people with trying to figure out what their purpose is in life through my 6-month program. That's like honing in on what your purpose is, really finding your voice, because I think it's one thing to say what you want to do in life and then telling the people that you love about it are two very different heads. Yeah. So that's what I love helping people with most. And then I also run a 30-day intensive, and it's about figuring out how you show up as your highest purpose, highest version of yourself every single day, and just growing that confidence and growing the things that around you to really stabilize that and keep that going.
Yeah, amazing. And I think the thing that really resonates for me, that I know that I felt in my own life, is it was that whole, well, you know, you go to school and do your best you can. For me, it was, okay, I was kind of expected to do A-levels. I was expected to go to university, none of which I really knew what I should be doing. It was all a little bit like, oh, like quickly just pick something and figure it out as I go. And it's almost like, and then you get to the end of that process, and then you kind of go, well, now what? And it's a bit like, well, hang on, I'm actually only in my early 20s or mid 20s quite often, or somewhere in my 20s. I've got the whole of my life ahead of me. I've got this job. I've done the things I'm supposed to do, but actually, like, it feels like there's a whole amount missing from life. It feels like you talk about that, like Monday morning dread, and I used to have that Sunday night dread that was like, oh God, a whole other week is going to start, and like, what is this? And I'm certainly, and I'm so grateful that it kind of happened naturally. I kind of fell out of that and got onto this path of figuring out what I really wanted to do. But lots of people are really stuck at that point, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think you can get stuck because you have no idea how to get out of it and no direction of where to go. And I think the first step is saying, I need help. Like, I need somebody to just, who's done it, who's done the work, and who's got out and who's living their best life. Yeah. Support you.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's been on your journey to, you know, becoming a coach and finding your niche and doing all of these things? What's been your biggest learning? What's like your biggest learning curve on this journey?
I think for me, it was I never needed to give myself permission to do me. Like I think a lot of the time I can look around and think, okay, this person's doing this, I should be doing this. And I was never allowing myself to be me or to say yes, that this is actually okay. It's okay to not feel like you fit in. It's okay to want more out of your life, because that's where all of this started from, right? I wanted the best life I could possibly have. And allowing myself to say that out loud to other people when my life was pretty great, like when I had a great job, I've got a great education, when I've got all of the good things, but I still wanted more, and just allowing myself to say that and allowing myself to say, actually, I need a change, and giving myself the permission to follow that change through. It was probably the hardest journey that I've been on.
What was, I hope you don't mind me asking this, but what was one of the most difficult aspects of that? Because I think that lots of people can relate to that, right? And you know, you want that thing, but I think lots of people can feel guilt because they think, well, actually my life is pretty good already and I should be happy because I've got this and I've got this, and actually I'm so lucky in comparison to so many people. And we can get into that story, right? And therefore almost feel guilty about wanting more or wanting to do something a little bit different. So what was the most difficult part you found it kind of as you went on that journey yourself?
So it was trusting the smaller voices. It was really trusting that voice that says, I want more and I deserve more. Like, I want more and I'm capable of more. I want more and I know that I'm going against the grain, but that's okay. And just trusting that voice that says that and not ignoring it or not pretending like it's going to go away because you've just paid for a really nice holiday because you're going to have a load of fun or a break from your life. Like, that's not okay. That's not your whole life. Like, paying for a holiday here and there is not the best way to live your life. The best way to live your life is the best every single day, right?
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it. And that, I think, I love the fact that you help people with this because it sits very close to my heart, in the fact that, you know, this is our one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. This matters. Like, we can't waste our time doing the things that really don't light us up, because not only do we not do ourselves a favor in that, we also don't help anyone else really in that. You know, I think it's when we walk our talk and when we give ourselves permission to do what we want, it inspires other people to do the same. So I think that it's just hugely powerful and hugely needed. What for people who are just either starting their business or maybe have made a start but they want to get it to the next level, what would you, being on that journey yourself, what would maybe one piece of advice be that you've got to share with people about how to navigate that journey? Maybe about the fear that comes up, or the anxiety, or like the days when sometimes it doesn't work out, because sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it's like, oh god, and it can feel frustrating. But what's more important is you actually reminding yourself that you can do this. So I'll shut up. I'll let you say something.
No, I think obviously I know that you hate this word, but I think it's consistency. Like, having days off and having breaks is absolutely fine, but sticking to that journey and really developing the self-development work, really working on figuring out what the best way for you to do it is. Like, obviously all of that tech stuff does not come naturally to me whatsoever, but just sitting there and looking at it and trying it out and talking about it with people that you really do trust. I am really lucky that I have people that I can talk to about changing my life and changing my direction, and finding those people. And if you don't, obviously there are tribes like yours and tribes like mine where you can openly discuss this and talk about what it is that you want and what it is that's not quite fitting right. So I think having that conversation was probably the first step of me really saying, okay, this is not where I want to be, and it's absolutely normal to feel like this.
Yeah, nice. And it's interesting, that word consistency, isn't it? Because I don't like the word, but I only don't like the word because in my business I am very consistent, but it's because I've built it into my identity. And I think I've seen you do that as well. I've seen you take this idea of these are the things that I want to be doing in my business, and almost bring them into your identity, so that it's not a should. It's not like I should be doing this and I've got to do this and I've got to whatever. It becomes a natural part of your day, because you are the woman who, like that, you are the woman who is one of my things. You are the woman who has a big dream and has this vision and has said yes. You are the woman who chooses to rise. You are the woman who like decided to make a difference in the world and be the lighthouse. And so of course you do these things naturally as part of your day. And I think that shift is really key, and it's part of the journey of growing your business, right?
100%. And I think that the fact that you know that you want more, and the fact that you know that there are things to do, that you've got to learn and you've got to grow and you've got to develop, but actually like saying, okay, I've done this for a week now, I'm going to take a break and then get back on it, is probably my ebb and flow of how I work.
Yeah, gorgeous. I'm just having a quick look at some of the comments that come through. Great stuff. Finding the strength to stand in your power and show the naysayers it's my life. Absolutely. Like super powerful, right? Okay, my gosh, this has been such a big morning. So are there any last things? Obviously, I'm going to get you to share your links so people can come and find you, and they can have a look at what you're up to and, join your things. But are there any kind of last words that you'd love to share, before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a massive believer in everything happens for a reason. And I think the fact that the people are here watching you and the people are here interested, it means that there is a way for you to grow. There is a way and a path that you should follow. It's not the easiest path and it's not the most comfortable one, but go with it and try it out and see what happens.
Yeah, so just if you feel the calling, if you've got it inside of you, if you know you want to, stop holding yourself back and actually just say yes and trust, because that's what life is about, right? And I think that I think what you said there, Risha, I think that's really key, because every single one of you that I've spoken to this morning, each and every one of you did that. You said, you know what, this might feel scary and it might feel like I don't know how, and it might feel like I've got lots of questions, but actually I'm going to say yes to this, because and what was it like when you started this journey? What was it that made you go, I'm doing this?
It was so for me, it was like a bit of a negative one. It was, I'm not getting my way and I want my way. And I knew that I had to get my way and do it my version of my life. And I wasn't getting it outside of work. I wasn't getting it in work. And so I had to find another aspect of my life where I fully became myself and fully owned who I was. So I created it.
Boom. There you go. I love it. Absolutely powerful. I wasn't getting my way, so I had to find a way to do it. I think they're brilliant words to finish on. Arisha, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. As I said, I'll speak for a couple of moments. So as soon as you hop off, go and pop in your comments so that I'll keep it live so you can pop your things.
I will do. All right, I'll do that right now.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Arisha. Take care. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's been lots of comments coming through. There's been lots of you watching. I just want to say a huge thank you for being here. There are lots of things still happening. In terms of the current academy, I think that there's only 3 places left now. Yes, there's 3 places left. And I might have seen a sale pop through while we've been talking, so there might only be 2 places left. I'm not sure. If you are thinking, oh, I don't know, I'm on the fence, is this right for me? I'm happy for you to message me any questions that you've got. But more so than that, I think I wanted to hold this little interview series today, because wherever you are in your business and whatever your business is, and whether you're just getting started or whether maybe you've got a good business already and maybe you're making like 5K a month or even 10K a month right now, but you know that it could be so much more. You know you could be supporting more people and making a bigger difference. I think the key thing is to choose to trust that journey, to choose to say yes to you. And yes, in whatever way is right for you. Yes, by you being all of yourself. Yes, by you realizing there are no rules that you need to follow. Yes, by you realizing that if someone else can do this, then you can too. There's people out there with huge businesses in the world. The Oprah Winfrey's, the Richard Bransons, you know, everyone that you see, that are the big names, I'm like looking at the books, the names on books around me, the Gabrielle Bernstein, all these people are actually just normal human beings who decided to say yes because they felt that calling within them. And the fact that they've done it means that you can absolutely 100% do it too. And you know what? The journey is not always easy. There are ups and downs. It's not all roses and sunshine, but actually that's good, because that's how we grow. That's how we grow. And that's what separates the people who are absolutely determined to do this. And when I say determined, that might sound a bit like push energy, but actually for me, it's not. For me, it's about, you know what? This is my life. And I get to make this life count. And I want to say yes to as many experiences as I can in this life. And if I can, I want to inspire other people to do the same. And for me, I gave myself permission not to need to be perfect, not to feel like I had to put myself in a box, not to wait until I felt ready. And I've been coaching now for 10 years and my business has evolved, and I have evolved hugely during that time. But at some point, you have to say yes. You have to give yourself permission, and you have to decide that actually wherever this journey is going to take you, you're either going to win or you're going to grow. And I think that that's one of the key things. There is no, like, we use this word failure and it's such BS, because there is no failure. You can only fail if you try something and then you just stop and that's it. You're like, I tried, it didn't work. You only try it once and then you do nothing with it. If you have this vision and you have this pull inside of you and you go, actually, you know what, like, I feel like I'm going to say yes to it. There might be things that don't work out the way that you wanted them to along the journey, but you will always grow from them. And if you keep on doing that, you will get there. You know, at the beginning of my business, I would do things where I felt like I was speaking to no one, or I wasn't sure about things, or I had the self-doubt, or there were all kind of things. But it was only by being on this journey that I have learned and grown, and that I've got to where I am now. And so I just wanted to share that a little bit. I don't know who the Facebook user is who says this, but she said, just say yes. I did. Yeah, I did. And it felt scary, but I also felt very exciting. Since I said yes, it feels more exciting than scary. I'm a woman on the rise. Woo! I'm guessing that's someone who's just joined the academy, but I can't see your name, so I don't know who it is. But absolutely, boom, say yes. It might feel exciting. And you know what? I'm not necessarily talking about saying yes to coming on this academy with me. This isn't about you need to join my academy. If the academy feels like a great fit, then I would love to support you. This is about you saying yes to your soul, and you saying yes to you believing in you and giving yourself permission to do it. So we have got another one of these next week, another one the week after. There's going to be all kinds of things happening in this group, so don't go disappearing. If you haven't got notifications turned on for the group, then I would put them on, because here's one of the things that I do. When I go live, I quite often just go live off the cuff. So if you want to be joining me live for like off the cuff, all kinds of things, then pop the notifications button on, because that means that Facebook will tell you. Stay in the space. I've got new things that are going to be happening next week. So the end of this week marks the end of the kind of launch for the academy. So the doors officially close midnight Friday, and it might potentially, they might close before then, because it might well be full. But then next week will be like a new week, and there'll be new content coming out. There'll be new conversations. One of the new things I'm going to actually be doing for you as a group is one evening a week, we're going to be having like wine and conversation time, and we're just going to hang out together, and I'll answer any questions, whether it's business, life, belief, purpose, whatever it might be. Kerry, it's Kerry, gorgeous Kerry, exciting to have you in it. Right, that is it for me. If you've enjoyed it, and you've got business besties who aren't in the group, invite them in by all means. If you've got any questions, any thoughts, any comments, feel free to share them. Go and have an incredible day, and I will see you really soon. Mwah! Sending lots of love. Bye. Wine and wisdom. Sean, perfect. Thank you. Bye, everyone.